Hi guys, Ben here of PaxPower with what we consider one of our coolest builds to date. Definitely most unique in that this may be the only OEM Ranger Raptor conversion in the US. As you may know, Ford has said they're not going to bring the Ranger Raptor here to North America, but we decided that North America needed this truck, so we sought out a way to get the Euro body panels from overseas and partnered up with BajaKits and King Suspension to develop a mid-travel suspension for this truck. It may not look like it now, but this started life as a black North American spec Lariat Ranger, and right now I'll cut to some pictures of the before and during so you get an idea of what you're looking at here. Now that you've seen where this truck came from, let's see what the finished product is. The first thing you'll notice is that this truck is no longer black and it is blue. This is Ford's F-150 color, blue jean metallic, and we've used this on some V8 Raptor builds and really liked it. And it seems to suit the Ranger really well and adds another unique component to this build in that Ford, both Euro and in North America, does not make a blue jean metallic Ranger or Ranger Raptor. So this is definitely one of a kind in multiple regards. It uses OEM Ranger Raptor front fenders, front fascia. In the bed, you can see the Ranger Raptor bed sides. We actually had to build that entire bed up to make this work. Even the gas door, fender flares, the tail lights are different spec for the Ranger Raptor. The tailgate is different spec. A lot of work went into this to make this truck come to reality. Even more so in some respects than our V8 Raptor from F-150 conversions that we do. I think the first thing that most people notice about this conversion is simply how aggressive it is. And that's whether you're comparing it to the North American Ranger, of which it's about 2.5 inches wider per corner, or the actual Euro Ranger Raptors. And I think that more aggressive look has to do with our truck using an ADD bumper and the BajaKits suspension. Overall, just makes a much more aggressive truck than what you may have seen for stock Ranger Raptors or maybe even some of the modified ones from overseas. Here I'm trying to detail some of the where that more aggressive look comes from in the bumper and suspension area. The suspension consists of BajaKits upper and lower control arms. Those are 2.5 inches wider than the factory control arms, and obviously a lot more beefy with their tubular steel construction and uniball joints out there on the outside. Had to extend the axles, of course, the steering links, and then I'll try to get in there for you to see the King coilovers with their adjustable reservoirs over here. You can also see some of the paneling we made to just really clean up this build. You know, these, because of the nature of the conversion, become high dollar trucks, and we just wanted to reflect that in every respect. So you see some of the shielding we made to finish it off. And then we come up to this 80D bumper that we really consider a work of art. This was made for the 2019 North America spec Ranger. Had to be extended in 2 places, right in here and then to the outside. The total extension ended up being about 10 inches per side, and definitely not afraid to show you these angles as we're real happy with how everything lined up and finished off. The bumper had to be moved up significantly in its mounts and on the frame, just because of the differences in the North American and Ranger Raptor spec body lines, but I think the end result is really good. That's a Rigid Pro 40-inch curved light bar in there. We kept the OEM Lariat headlights with their LED features and projectors, and they're just a really nice headlight. And that's about the only part that survived the conversion that actually came on the truck. Pretty much everything else you see that's not the cab has been replaced with those Ranger Raptor components. And speaking of Ranger Raptor parts, the rear end has just as many of those. The bed sides, both inner and outer, are Ranger Raptor units. Fender flares, even the fender liners come from the Ranger Raptor. You'll notice the gas door is a different shape. The tail lights are a different shape. The North American Ranger actually has a bed cap up here, both on the side and the tailgate, but it's not the case on the Ranger Raptor, so we use the Ranger Raptor tailgate. A lot of differences between the 2 trucks, that's for sure. And it took an incredible amount of tear down and building back up to make this bed. Looks like a finished product now, but it was quite the undertaking. We did transfer over the Lariat badge so that we pick up the camera. Same in the front for the sonar, we have that as well. You see we use these bed stabilizers. The plan is for this truck to get used on a ranch, and we didn't want the bed to experience any fatigue over time as it beats down washboard roads and gets used like a Ranger Raptor should, as the smaller brother to the Ranger that in a lot of ways, because of its size and weight, is probably more capable, well, definitely more capable than the full-size F-150 Raptor. We'll come around and check out the interior, but before we do, just wanted to point out that this conversion has power steps on it. Currently there's not an American manufacturer that does the power steps for these trucks, so we imported those as well and got those working from the European model over on the North American Ranger. Inside, still Lariat spec, which is a nice place to be. Has Sync 3, full tech. You know, seats are pretty nice in this level trim. Yeah, overall nice truck. You can also see that the color change, you know, we went all the way into the jams and all the way behind the seals. You know, really, there's not much, if anything, left on this truck that shows that it was ever a black North American spec truck. As we come around and take a look, some final looks at the truck, we'll talk about what's under the hood. While I think most of our fans would have liked to seen us do a V8 supercharged in this, like we do with our F-150 Raptor builds, it still has the 2.3 liter single turbo 4-cylinder. We do think that engine works really well in this package. It's mated to the same 10-speed transmission that's in the Raptor. And when we just did a tune that we worked with SCT to get, picked up to around 350 horsepower. So in this package, that's plenty of power and definitely a lot more than the Colorados, Tacomas, the Jeep Gladiator. Those other midsize don't pack the punch that a tuned Ranger has. So when coupled with the body mods, the suspension, there's really nothing that can touch this in the midsize category as it is. And at 350 horsepower, we're confident that this little rocket would take a full-size stock Raptor, both on-road and off-road. Forget about it. This smaller package will perform a lot better than the full-size F-150 Raptors. Well, friends, that's it for a walk around of our PaxPower Ranger build with OEM Ranger Raptor body and BajaKits and King suspension setup. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll try to get to those. Otherwise, keep watching our channel for other cool builds and tell your friends about what we're doing over here at PaxPower. See you next time.